Okay, good morning. Um this is our last week of discussion. Curious what you guys think about this topic. As you know, I am not a huge fan of blockchain, and I'm curious in the discussion if you guys can help me make sense out of this. Um, Tokens and tokenization, and this is really kind of the heart of the whole issue. A token is we'll talk about what that is. We'll go over the discussion question, and then I gotta briefly talk about the rest of the semester because we're almost done. Okay, so what is tokenization, and it's the process, the act of representing something with a token or assigning a a token to something. Could be something real world. Could be something digital, which I think is kind of the direction this is heading. We have legally accepted and defended representations of physical objects, physical things. For the most part, it seems like the title to your car. No one is going to ever say, "But I've got an NFT for his car." And another person with the paper title is going to say, I don't know what an NFT is. Here's the title, and that's what's going to be legal. So um, I think a token as a representation an of a thing, I think might have more value as far as it being like a Bitcoin or anything. I mean, it could be. Um, they're selling original copies of everything. I've got an example here where the Tim Berners-Lee auctioned off the what he purports to be the original file for first web browser way back 1991. How cool is that? Um, so yeah, that's what tokenization. And then there's protocols and different platforms and different approaches to assigning a token and transferring possession of the token using blockchain distributed ledger technology. The one I see mentioned the most is Ethereum, and they seem to be really building out an entire developer ecosystem, SDK and whatnot, to allow for tokens to represent anything. They can be used within, a video game, in between individuals to to represent things of value. It's just like I said, it's getting to be um, a whole ecosystem. I don't know though. My mind just keeps asking all the questions, and then I Google it, and they're obvious questions. Like for example, Tim Berners-Lee auctioned off uh, several digital files. You can look it up in this newsletter, or it's all over the web. But I read this article in the Guardian, and there were like four. There were like a video of him going over the source code. It was the source code itself, some other documentation, and um, and for $5 million, you got a non fungible token, which is just a serial number, really, for those files. But my question is, what would keep someone, say you had the original digital mix of a song and you're a producer like Dr. Dre or whatever, and you auction off um, this original mixed file, uh, you know, before it went to CD and got transferred. This is the original mixture coming out of Pro Tools or whatever, you know. And you auction that up. What's to keep you from getting an NFT from another platform and just selling digital duplicates of that file with different NFTs? Um, so yeah, I don't know. Hopefully in the discussion this week, which I don't frequently comment, but I frequently read the discussion boards. Um, Hopefully it won't just be the usual, but we'll see. We'll see. It's the last one. Nothing to lose by just talking. Okay. So yeah, that's what tokenization is using the blockchain to come up with a unique ID that can be used to represent something. Um, I guess the one of the main pieces of logic that I've heard, it doesn't really play with me, but again, um, I'm not an early adopter. Is that like a share of stock? You can't buy a fractional share of stock, generally speaking, and you know, with some stock prices being over $1,000, it's hard for the individual investor to come up with enough money to buy, you know, a piece of stock. So you could tokenize that stock, and you could have like 10 tokens that sum up to the value of that stock. So each token would be 10% of the value of that share of stock. Or you could use tokens if you owned a home, you could issue ticket tokens for, you know, some fraction of value of your home, where normally, you know, you either sell the home or you don't. A token can represent a fractional value, or tokenization can allow you to fractionally represent something that you know, like you wouldn't normally think of selling portions of. But again, you know, depending on what you're talking about, all kinds of legal limitations, which you guys get to go to next week. So our discussion question for this week is to talk about these three protocols that support um, tokenization. So compare and contrast these, and um, as always, I encourage you to speak plainly, and issue your own opinion, your own experience, what you think, and share links if you find something. Okay, so yeah, that's our last bit of interaction this semester, um, until the final week, which is short, which I'll go over right now. Okay, so this week we got the week 13 discussion board on tokenization and tokens and those three protocols. Okay, so next week the topic in the folder is limitations of blockchain. But there's nothing due. However, I've opened up all the folders. Go to week 15, and you'll see your final academic paper is due, and it's fairly lengthy, um, and it's all blockchain. And they're calling it a final portfolio paper. So there you go. In week 16, check out the discussion. It's a short week, the final week of the class. Everything is due by Wednesday night of week 16. So super short week, but then you're done. And the only thing to do is a reflection on dissertation topics, which we happen to have uh, addressed during the residency. So that shouldn't be too tough for you. Okay, so that's the rest of the semester. So really, you got a discussion board, uh, two discussion boards, and a big paper due, and that is that. So, in conclusion, please read the syllabus section on reuse and repurposing. A lot of what you've already written in discussion boards and um, your papers. is going to be useful in your final portfolio paper, but you can only use only 20% of your final portfolio paper can be um, reused, and I give specific instructions if you do that in the syllabus. And of course, as always, any questions, please feel free to give me an email, shoot me an email. Okay, thank you.